from the last time they fought up to now. And I think he's been sitting more than he's been in the ring. FROCH has been kind of active, and he's a champion now, and he got a lot of experience by fighting Andre Ward and fighting fights before then in that tournament. I forget the Butte fight, who he, of course, see what he did to that, Butte. And I thought that was going to be a little tough. Matter of fact, I picked Butte to win that fight. So I'm going to tell you, I'm a victim of getting wrong, too. I'm not a victim. I'm accused, or at least wrong for saying that he was going to do certain things he did. From those fights, he surprised me. And he's no cream puff. He has an awkward style. The press conference would be off the hook because he has a personality. And it'd be something I don't have to do all the work. With these young guys, I got to actually, like, who do you think going to promote this fight July 13th?
You are.
The man don't speak English. He's coming over here, and I'm not making fun of who can speak, but, I mean, we know in boxing, it's best to know some English. Because to be branded as the guy, you got to get crescent, you know, like you go to church, you got to get in the United States. You got to get the blessings here. You know what I mean, old father? You got to get that here to be able to go anywhere else. I don't care who you are. You got to come here and get the blessings. That's why they come here to get introduced to the world.
25 years, man. You've been at it.
Is it 25 or 26?
Since 1988, your first
Yeah.
fight up.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't good at math.
So, motivation like
Just count the money. That's sorry.
motivation motivates you to this. I mean, when are you gonna stop?
I don't know, but I know that. Put it this way, I know that I don't see 50 as somewhere I'll be going to the ring as a 50-year-old man because I mean, what's the purpose? I think right now I'm having more fun than proving that the era I live in, majority, not all the fighters, but majority of the fighters that's in can fight, but they haven't learned the sweet sciences of the art of the sport. And if I was held down and say, Bernard, give me a percentage of the fighters out of 100 that you think that lack getting that teaching from the teachers that's not in the game like they used to be, I'll say it's 40% out of 100 that's not getting the teaching to be able to beat a fighter, not only of my magnitude, but someone that has the teaching and can bring the body to the table. That's the physical and the knowledge too, also.
When you left the ring all those years ago after losing your pro debut to Clinton Mitchell
In Atlantic City.
in Atlantic City in 1988, could you even have envisioned that you'd be having this sort of media gathering as a world champion at 48?
No. I couldn't even imagine Bernard probably doing that at 38 until you start getting to those numbers. I mean, think about it. Like I would have been really looking like a total asshole if I've been sitting up there at 30 years old saying, you know what, Bernard, I'm going to be champion at 48. Who does that? Dan Raphael, guess what, man? I'm going to be champion at 50. Bernard, I couldn't. Because y'all thought I needed a head check, first of all. Like, wait a minute, you're talking about 48 years old, Bernard, you could possibly be a champ or any other undisputed. It wasn't in my vision. It wasn't something I planned. It wasn't something that I knew I can do once I get there. Time goes with being busy, and you look up, Bernard, even though I pay attention to the clock, to a point where, okay, 1 year passes, another year passes, and I'm like, yo, I'm feeling better and I'm having more fun than when the serious business of boxing was more of a nasty taste in my mouth than now. And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with my comfortability of who I'm with, who I'm involved with, and that is, again, you know, Golden Boy and the situation that 7 years now, 6 years now, we've been in existence, and I've been affiliated, been partners with, and so maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe now that I'm 40-something, it's a light on me and I'm getting some attention, and I mentioned this, I believe, to Dan, I know I said it to Bernard, about when I was coming up. The era I was coming up, I'm gonna name 2 fighters that got, and I might sound like a little spoiled kid here, about, not spoiled, but a little kid of has something to get back. You know, I felt like the third kid in the house. I feel like James Toney, who deserved to get what he got, and Roy Jones Jr., and then it was Bernard Hopkins. And I was the third child in the house. And we know if you're the third child in the house, normally you get looked at third, and you get the third, not the seconds, not the first plate or bite out of the apple. So I looked at it as being the third guy in the house at that era, the Roy Jones, the James Toney, and the Bernard Hopkins. Now I got the light because those guys have went their way and established who they are, greats in the business. And now that I'm around, there's really nobody competing or comparing anybody in the light heavyweight division like in the middleweight division. When I was in the middleweight division, you know, before the tournament, you know, you had the Roy, and he deserved to be there. You couldn't hit Roy with a handful of rice at the middleweight division. I was in the ring with him at his best in '93 in RFK Stadium. But as time went on and years go by, I see myself saying, man, now people are focusing on me. And again, I'm gonna look at me right now and as a 40-year-old man speaking like I'm 19 or 20, but that's the way I feel. I feel now that because of things that change over the time, for good, for bad, for a lot of us fighters, right? Shift. It's like the guards have changed. You know, you was on head, you was on top, you ran the city, you the governor, you the mayor, you this, and this changed and came. And the smoke didn't clear, and I'm still here. And I'm still here representing the highest prize in boxing, and that is one of the titles that considered respectfully world championship title. When you open the book up and somebody said this guy is 48 years old and he's a world champion, either boxing went downhill or this a bad motherfucker. Think about it. Either if a 48-year-old guy that's soon to be 49 time he fights is still fighting and got one of the respectful titles in boxing, either boxing have declined tremendously or we dealing with a bad motherfucker. Huh? When you get your ass kicked.
2011, when you broke your record.
Period.
When you broke George.
No. When a fighter gets old, it's not at the night of the fight. It's in the gym, but the trainers and the ones that know they got something that they will forfeit, maybe a check, they will be or not be honest with the fighter. You don't get old tonight in that gym. No fighter will get old that night in the gym. It happens before the gym. Just like you know if somebody's gonna be a criminal. If he's stealing and you got an 8-year-old son, and every time you go to the store, his pockets are full all the time, you know you got a potential criminal thief that you gotta get help right away. 8. Now when he was 2, maybe okay, Tim, okay. When he's 3, you give him, but now he's 8 and he's taking the damn cash register. He ain't taking the Skittles no more. Or the Jolly candies. Jolly Rancher, see, you know. You know you got a potential mass murderer when you see somebody's killing a damn dog in the street or a cat. You have to change that behavior real quickly, Bernard. You got to get the man some help, or woman some help. So fighters get old in the gym, not the night of the fight, when in the well, I'm not, Nazim? Oh, absolutely. Nazim would tell me in a heartbeat. Yeah. Nazim would tell me, just like he would tell me, man, you looking better, man, and you all right? Everything good? You know, you got that spark and, you know, you cool? Right now it's mental with me. I'm weighing 184 pounds, man. Nazim, man, go to Atlantic City up. I was going to stay home, man. I want to break camp. I'm in camp. Literally, I'm in camp. And I'm going out there when Demetrius fight one of the twins on next month in California. We're going to have our gym stuff. All my trainers are going to be with Demetrius. So I'm just packing my bags, getting on the flight for 6 hours, and I'm going to be training outside of California when Demetrius, my nephew, fight to defend his USPA title with one of the toughest fights in his careers.
Who's he fight?
One of the twins.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. So my thing is, I'm training on the go, and then I lock it down with 4 weeks and some change prior to my fight. But right now, I'm walking around 10 pounds. What fighters today? The young ones. They 3 weight classes. If you get on the scale, boxers should start a thing like this to save health. Of fighters training themselves and putting themselves at risk. You weigh a fighter 2 months after his fight, I guarantee you, he's 3 divisions heavier than he fights. Now, to be 48 years old, and I was 46, ever since Bernard been covering me over 18 years. I fought March 9th. We get on the scale after I did my run on the boardwalk. Took a couple of Golden Boy employees out there. That's our thing. When we go somewhere, we don't sit around and eat. I try to get everybody motivated. Haven't got Richard out there yet, but I'm going to get his cigars and then I can get him. 185 pounds, man. I just fought March 9th. Now I don't have 2 camps. I don't have to go to camp to lose 25, 30 pounds, and then, oh, shit, I got to fight. Let me look at the tapes and see who I'm fighting. I always got the upper hand on these guys. I've been doing it for 2, 3 decades, keeping my body under middleweight division, kept my weight 10 pounds under 70, 68, 69. And then when it's time to train, it wasn't how hard I trained, it's that you don't train too hard because A, you over peak.